Hi, everybody, and welcome to Charger 360, telling the stories of the University of New Haven. I'm J.W. Stewart, along with Bruce Barber. Bruce, how you doing today?
Doing well, deep into season 3, J-Dub.
We are. The finish line is getting closer.
Yes, it is. Wow.
It's been a great season 3. One of the things I've enjoyed most about season 3 is having more students on this season. And Bruce, as you know, there's a lot of ways for the University of New Haven to kind of publicize itself, certainly Charger 360, WNHU.
Yep.
We also have a Charger blogger, and that is our guest today. Beatrice Glaviano is the Charger blogger. If you ever wonder, if you read her stuff, you ever wondered, who is she? Who's Beatrice? Who's B. Glaviano? We're going to try to find out today. B is here. She's a senior majoring in nutritional science. B, welcome to Charger 360. It's great to meet you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's great to meet you guys too.
The blog is great. I read
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
terrific.
you. I have to read me too sometimes, and I'll go over my material. I'm like, oh, there's a typo I didn't see, or something like that, or I'll be recognized, and people will walk up to me and just be like, "Are you the Charger blogger?" And I'm like, who am I?
It's good content.
It is.
Yeah.
It's terrific.
Thank you.
It's terrific content. So let's start talking about that. How did you become the Charger blogger?
So kind of accidentally, in a way. I had been doing research with Dr. Conroy and Dr. Simyal for Surf 2023, and I was, melting fish in a lab like any normal person, and I
Melting fish in a lab.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
note
I
that,
know.
J-Dub.
I am.
It was a really wild project, to say the least. But to get some PR, I had talked to my advisors, and I was like, hey, I like writing. Why don't I just kind of as a way of updating myself on what I did last week, why don't I just write about it? And I talked to the school. I talked to Rachel Schmiel, who used to work here. I think she's in California now.
Renee
I believe.
Schmiel.
Renee,
Yeah.
Renee. Yeah.
I loved her. She's just a bundle of sunshine.
Awesome.
And she was like, oh yeah, you can do it. So I spent all my free time just away about what I was doing, and it slowly became this getting to know myself through my writing and through my audience. And I became this kind of literary vigilante of a student and person. And eventually, Rachel came up to me and she's like, hey, you want a job? And I was like, yo.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, great, now I can do something that I genuinely like. Because we all know getting into writing or media or communications, we all kind of in the back of our heads, there's like, what's the pay of that? And
Not much. Does not pay well usually.
just feel like there's a little Kermit the Frog hovering over my shoulder.
Yeah.
And I was like, why not? What's the worst that can happen? I get a typo or something? And I just full sent it. And ever since I've been doing it, I've loved every second of it, and it's challenged me as both a writer and a person.
So great.
There's your backstory.
So were you always interested first? Obviously, you come here to study nutrition. Were you always interested in that, and were you always interested in writing?
So I came here as a forensic science,
Oh, really?
which is on the opposite side of the spectrum. And I remember sitting in my classes, and I'm just like, I'm bored. And I know that all the forensics people are going to yell at me for that. And you're like, how are you bored? It's nails and glass and bullets. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's really cool for you. But for me, I wasn't going to force myself to do something I didn't like, or something that I wasn't fully ingrained in, because what's the point of that? Where you can't let passion just not happen. And especially in college, that's your real chance to shine. And I wasn't feeling it. So I reached out, and at the time I was a gym bro, and I was lifting all the time, and I was really into food, and I'm like, why don't I just do this? I like this. This works.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's go take that passion and bring it up a notch. And immediately I fit in. I'm still a pre-med student, so I have a bunch of curriculars for that too. So I tend to run around like a headless chicken some days. But I make things work, and I enjoy the knowledge that my major has brought into things. As for writing, that's just been something I've always wanted to get into. I remember in second grade, we would all write stories in class and share them, and I had the class laughing over this really, really insane story that involved Super Mario Bros. Or whatever. This is an eon ago to me, so I barely remember it, but I think it was really from day one, quite literally. that I got into writing. My mom used to bring her to her editorial meetings, and she'd be like, bouncing me on her lap, and she'd be like going over papers with the staff and stuff like that. So just ingrained.
What's
since
mom
that.
do?
Mom, right now she's getting her master's in archaeology, I think. So kudos to mom right now.
Yeah, wow.
Is she a writer?
She used to be. I don't know the exact timeline per
Okay.
se. I guess I really haven't talked to her too much about this. But she used to be the editor for a newspaper company in Hartford for a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, she has a bachelor's in graphic art and design and did a lot of her work around the Hartford area until we just moved over to South Windsor. So
Wow.
and then she left her job to spend time with her kids.
Yeah.
And then here I am following in her footsteps a little bit.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
How do you choose what to write about?
That's a fun, it's like a little Jeopardy wheel. I just kind of watch the boxes tick, but there's like nothing in the boxes yet. And I'm like, okay, any second now. And a lot of the time it can come from what I'm interested in, such as nutrition articles or gut microbiome articles or microplastic articles. And I'll like peruse through the media. And as a former researcher, I know how to really like scrape PubMed for stuff and really filter through all the gobbledygook that can be published. And I take great pride in making sure the work that I publish is accurate. I don't want to misspread information, and being somebody who's in nutrition, I'll have a keener eye for that sort of thing. But when it comes to deciding, it can really be difficult. The writer's block can get really real, or it'll be like 7 of the classes are in Canvas and there's no Panda available. I don't know if you guys know about the Panda. The Panda shows up when you have no assignments left.
Oh,
So
yes.
I don't see the Panda very frequently, unfortunately.
Is that in Canvas?
Yeah, it's like this
Okay.
little like emote type. Everybody, like
Wow.
everybody's a student here will know what I'm talking about.
Okay,
But
interesting.
sometimes I'll just write about what's going on in my life. Look,
So I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think I get credit for this booking, right? Is that true?
If you want to take credit,
I do, but I think it was because I saw a piece you wrote about sugar,
I know what you're
and
talking
I
about.
clipped
Yeah.
it, and I said, I think I put it on the list, and that was really interesting.
Huh.
So talk about that piece.
The
Do you
sugar?
remember? Yeah, the sugar one.
Yeah, I think that was an article debunking is sugar bad or good type of that deal. Because we've heard that for like the 1980s, 1990s, 2000s, up to now. Like, is sugar good or bad for you? Like, is it going to make you gain weight, lose weight, blah, 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 blah. And in that article, I really went into like, well, okay, what is sugar? It's CH, H12O6, I think. I probably said that wrong. That's okay. Yeah, C6H12O6. Yeah, that's glucose.
Okay.
That's a result of when plants raise their arms to the sun, say, hey, let's sunbathe. They'll do photosynthesis, and boom, glucose. That's the very, very short, simple, easy way of doing it. But glucose is a molecule that we use for energy. ATP, which is adenosine try something. And I'm not going to try. I'm not going to try pronouncing that right
No
now.
Panda for you.
No, this is why I don't see the Panda. This is why.
Okay.
But understanding that sugar is a molecule is really important because molecules do things. They interact with other molecules. And sugar's role, obviously I just said, is energy. And it's us to provide energy for ourselves. And whether that energy is coming from a plant or like a meat or, I don't know, a Snickers bar that you've frozen in the freezer for like a little bit, those are all going to produce energy for you to use. And I think it's really important to understand that energy quality is a really big thing because people have been like, oh, like an apple and ice cream and some random amount will have the same calories. And I'm like, okay, yeah, same calories, but look, what are the nutrients in that? Apple, pectin, good carbohydrates, fiber. Ice cream, probably some more dairy, obviously more dairy content, some protein, some saturated fats maybe. And those values are gonna differ and your body is going to accept those in different ways. So if my dad, who's lactose intolerant, eats ice cream, he's probably not gonna feel super great after. But if my dad eats apple, dad is happy. We like that. Simple
Happy
math.
dad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of happy, most of your blogs are very happy and chipper
Thank
and
you.
upbeat. There was one that really caught my eye that I thought was important to talk about with you today, and I think it'll resonate with a lot of our audience, our student audience.
Yeah.
So in a blog last year, B, you wrote about having an eating disorder. Why was it important for you to share that with your reading audience?
I think the story behind that article was really backed up by the fact that eating disorders are just so covered up. They're layered on, and I feel like people on social media be like, oh, I have an eating disorder, this is what I do, or like whatever. And they don't post that real story around it. They don't post how you lose your humanity to it. There isn't really any perception, and there's stereotypes to it. And people, it's like a taboo to have it, especially as a young woman in college. And I'm not saying that men can't get it either. Anybody of anything can get it or have it. And it's really a matter of how you perceive yourself, I feel. That's where they all stem. But a lot of the fact that they can crop up due to feelings of like insufficiency, high stress. Like I think we've all had days where we're just running around and you just kind of get at home, you're like, I'm not gonna eat anything, and just hit the bed. But a lot of this can be just repetitive behavior of, will I be good enough or something like that? Like, do I look nice? Am I pretty, or am I handsome, or anything like that? And I felt like it was just such an important thing to talk about because nobody talks about it. And like, not really, not actually. Like, yeah, you'll say something or be like, yeah, I haven't really been eating great or like whatever, but nobody talks about the psychological impact of it or how it changes your relationships, or you'll start skipping out on things and missing out on life. And eventually I just come to this huge realization of, oh my God, I'm gonna miss out on my life if I don't actually live it. So ever since then, yeah, I will go get a burger. Yes, I will go have the ice cream and not the apple, actually, thank you. But with that comes such great knowledge about food, and it's really understanding your body and what it may want. So I feel like to anybody who has an eating disorder, I think therapy, great place to start. We love that. Yeah. CAPS does a really great job. I've seen a couple of people there. They're fantastic. I used to be so against college therapy. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. And then one day I went and I was like, maybe I'll do it.
Well, I'm so glad you brought that up too, because one of the things I like to tell students is that there are resources on campus if you're going through something.
Yeah.
And you should be going through something. College is this amazing transformational time. It's the first time out of the house, the first time on your own, the first time, in many cases, this is not generalizing, but interacting with other people, finding out who you are, right? And I just feel as though the University of New Haven does a very good job of offering these services to students. And then it becomes what you're talking about, which is just taking the initiative to reach out and ask for that help.
Thank you, yeah. It's always that first step, first little question, first seeping into new knowledge. And I can agree with you that the university does provide excellent resources, and also like just broadcasting of those resources, like, and it's not under the radar. It's not like you have to go through like piles of web pages or anything like that. Like, it's right there, right on the Charter website. Can't miss it. Yeah, so I think that's great.
Yeah, there's no shame in asking for help. The problem is when you don't ask for help. That's for sure. So we're running out of time here, B, but one thing I like about your blogs, you sign your blogs and your emails with peace, love, and peanut butter. What's the story behind that?
Oh my gosh. So one of my other EMT friends had told me that statement, and ever since I was like, wow. And I asked him, I was like, can I steal that from you? And he was like, yeah, sure, like, go for it. And he probably had no idea like how like popular it would end up becoming. But with peace, love, and peanut butter, like, hey, who doesn't like peanut? Except you're allergic to peanut butter. Then you may not like it. Oh no.
Allergic to peanut butter.
So you just get with peace and love.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, J-Dub. Exactly.
I love that for you.
I'm peace and love, but I don't judge. Anyone can love peanut butter.
Oh, we love that.
Last question, B. We said you're a senior. What are your plans after graduation?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
We got some hard-hitting questions here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Noticed. I think right now I'm on track to get my master's in nutrition so I can get my registered dietitian stuff going. On track for med school. I would really love to go into orthopedic surgery or neurosurgery, whichever's more complicated at this point. And really just be a rock star, I guess, and just make people's lives better. Like, because I feel like we all make our lives so difficult. Hopefully one person can.
I've got the feeling that's going to happen.
I agree. I'm gonna bet
you.
I'm gonna bet a jar of peanut butter
Yes.
that it's going to happen.
And just wash your hands before
Yeah, I
you
will.
pass it to me. Thank you.
So no peanut butter cups for you then?
No.
Oh man,
You're missing out.
You
Yeah.
are. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
Pretzels for me.
Well, that's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not.
Thank you.
If you get sick one day and go to the hospital, we might be there to take care
Yes,
of you.
Yeah,
excellent.
exactly. Look, it all works out full
Got
circle.
an EpiPen handy?
Absolutely.
B. Glaviano, the Charger blogger. Thanks for joining us here on
Yeah,
Charger
thank you.
360. You've gone from melting fish in a lab to,
Yeah, wow.
being a rock star. And we don't mean the archaeology. I guess that your mom's the rock star, is going
No,
for
you're all
archaeology
good.
degree, right?
Oh, ouch.
Yeah. That's how we're going to end the show,
There we
Bruce.
go. Good
so,
point.
the Charger blogger's not the only one who can spin a pun every now and then.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
thanks for being here, B. It was great to meet you, and best
Thank
of
you.
luck. Thanks for everything
Yeah,
you do for
thanks
us
for
here at
having me.
UNH. All right. So if you want to get on the show, all you got to do is email Bruce Barber at bbarber@newhaven.edu or me, jstewart@newhaven.edu. Bruce does all the bookings apparently, so I
Yes,
think
I'm
you
very good at it. I want to tell you.
you should just email him because apparently he was the one who emailed Beatrice
Yeah,
to get her on the
you
show.
probably did this, didn't you? All right, I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
I apologize.
With peace and love.
Yes.
Should we all
and
just
peanut
like-
butter.
That's that. We're going to look at camera
Yes.
C2 there. Camera
Yeah.
2. For B, for Bruce, I'm J-Dub with peace, love, and
Peanut
peanut
butter.
butter if you're not allergic.
Yes.
Thanks for watching Charger 360, everybody. Telling the stories of the University of New Haven. See you next time.